Good evening once again, my viewers. This is Wings, and I'm happy to be here once again with you. Thank you for staying tuned even as you watch this wonderful episode of Wings. Now, Wings is women in God's service, women who have gone through so many issues, but they are still hanging to this God. It is an episode that you're going to love. I remain your loved one, Pst Millicent. And in studio, I have a wonderful wing who is just about to share with us the pain, the lose, but she has not let go. She's that kind of a woman who is saying, never die like an energizer. So take your time. As I introduce to you our guest, she tells us where she comes from, even as she takes us through her testimony this wonderful evening. Karibu sana. Karibu, thank you for coming. God bless you for coming. Kindly tell our viewers who you are, how you grew up, where you come from, all those details, even as we continue.
Thank you so much, Pst Millicent, for this opportunity just to inspire the people of God. I like the way you have just done the introduction and talked about the wings, because I believe as a wing, when you fly,
Yes.
It doesn't matter if you have walked, you have crawled, but at least you have done something. But when it's a point of flying, I'm telling you, that's another level. And I love the ministry that you're doing. I thank God because of this opportunity, and I'm here to share my story that I believe it will inspire someone.
Yes.
I come from a place called Gatondo. And that is Gatondo South.
Is in Kiambu County.
Yes, Kiambu County,
Yes, yes.
Gatondo South. And that's where I was born, and I grew up. And I grew up among 5 siblings, 4 girls, and 1 young man.
Okay.
And I grew up with my both parents.
Yes.
And but as we will continue the story, there's somewhere that we had to break up with my dad. But I thank God that right now we are fine.
Okay.
So when I was growing up, my dad really wanted me to become a nun, the Catholic nun.
Okay. Okay.
And so he managed to take me to a convent where I was to take my secondary school.
Now you have already done this primary section,
Yeah,
just as a
exactly.
normal child in a normal school.
Yes.
And now the secondary part of it is where he wants you to join the high school.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was taken to a convent with the mind that he wanted me to do my Form 4 and continue being a nun. But when I was growing up in the village, I really admired those people who were born again.
Yes.
And so we used to follow them. And I got born again without my family knowing, without my parents knowing.
You never shared your testimony with anybody.
The villagers could know,
Yes.
but my parents, we could hide them because they could not allow us. You see, these are parents that want you to become a nun,
Yes.
and so they could not embrace that, the salvation.
Yes.
And so I don't mean that Catholics don't get saved.
Yes.
I want to underline that, but I want to say that in our time, they didn't believe that you can be born again and still remain in that denomination.
Yes.
And so I decided to hide myself. And when I was taken to the high school,
Yes.
where it was a convent, that
It was a high school. Now,
A
maybe
high
you make
school
us clear here.
and a convent.
It was a high school and a convent.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And so there I had to continue like any other child, but I could not hide my salvation now.
In the convent school?
In the convent.
Okay.
So I started radicalizing others because there was no Protestant at that time.
Yes.
And so it was so amazing that I became a leader of a group
Okay.
that was against the school rules.
Okay.
Because there were certain school rules that we used to go for prayers.
Yes.
In
The mass.
the mass,
Yes.
the church.
Yes.
And I don't want to dwell so much there.
Yes.
But it happened one time that we broke a school rule. We refused to go to the mass.
Yes.
And when we refused to go to the mass, we went and hid ourselves in one room
Yes.
in the school.
Yes.
And we started praying. And
Now,
amazing,
loudly.
loudly, you know, in a high
The
school. and
Pentecostal way.
Yes, and
My.
as teenagers, you know, you are also exaggerating because you are speaking in tongues.
Okay.
I'm telling you, the Holy Spirit filled the room, and we started speaking in tongues. And you know, this is against the school rule, because the others are supposed to be in the mass.
Yes.
And you are against the rules.
Yes.
And so when we were caught, when the nun came and
Yes.
we were caught,
Yes.
I was expelled from school.
Wow.
That was the
That holy girl, that good girl from the village has been expelled from the school.
from the school.
Yes.
And that's how now I joined another school.
Yes.
And when I joined that other school, of course, you see, when I was in that school
Yes.
that I was supposed to become a nun, that school, it was very much disciplined.
Okay.
And now I have gone out to another school. This is, we have all the freedom.
Yes.
And apart from the joy of me having the freedom to worship,
Yes.
there was also freedom for the other girls. And the other girls now, they organized a strike in that school.
In the school now that where the convent was, yes.
The new school
Then,
now.
Yes.
Now, when I went, when the people, the girls, they organized a strike,
Yes.
and it was early in the morning. You see me, I'm a newcomer.
Yes.
I have joined, you know, I was there up from the other school, I was in Form 1 up to Form 3.
Yes.
Now I'm here in Form 4.
Yes.
And you see, these are girls who have been here from Form 1 to Form 3 now.
Yes, yes.
And they have organized a strike. And me, I'm new, so I didn't know where to go. I didn't know how they were used to doing that in that
And then you
school.
don't know even the environment,
I
like
don't-
when
yeah.
they start running,
Yes,
you will go where?
I'll go where.
Yes.
So I remained in the school, and we remained with some other like 3-4 girls.
Yes.
And it was so sad that it is because of that now that's how I went through rape.
Okay. Baby, you are in Form 4.
I'm in Form 4.
You are
There
in
is
a new school.
Yes.
The strike has been done. Now you have remain in school because you don't know where to run. And you're so innocent because they planned even this thing, you didn't know about
Yes.
it. Now, that's how you met your rape.
That's how I met my rape, and I will explain a bit because I don't want people to think that I was raped inside the school.
Yes.
So what happened is that after the people, the girls ran out and they went,
Yes.
we remained. Then there were rumors. The people who will remain in school, the other girls will come and fight them and they will kill them.
Okay.
So we were so scared. And there was a girl, she was not even in my class.
Yes.
But she was in a lower one.
Yes.
She came and told me, my grandmother stays around here. Let us go. And you remember it's very early in the morning.
Yes.
So we went at the
grandma's place. Yes.
the grandmother's place.
Yes.
And and I was very relaxed. I was so happy
Yes.
that now I have a safe place to be.
Yes.
And when I remained there, when we were there, it was, you see, the strike was around 3 in the morning, and the place that we were going, it was just around the school. It was not very far.
Yes.
So we were there very early. And so, of course, that is her grandmother's place.
Yes.
So the mother, after some time, it was announced the school has
The
gotten
school has gone- yeah,
into
yes.
a strike. And so the mother called. The mother called the school.
Yes.
And also she called the relatives now
Yes.
to tell the girl to go to their place. They used to live in Nyeri,
Yes.
where the mother was.
Yes.
So she left.
She left you alone.
She left me
at her
alone at her
place.
grandmother's place. This is a new environment. This is a grandmother who doesn't know this girl. And now the mother has insisted she
And you
goes.
also knew
In the-
utajua tupanya route or
I
anything.
don't know anything there.
Yes.
So when I remained there, then that's the only place I could be. And so I thought maybe I can spend there and hear what is happening in the school and go back to school. And so a young man came. And that man, I noticed him, is a man that I've been seeing. He was a teaching practice teacher in our school.
Okay.
So it's those teachers that you pass by in the school, but you see you are a newcomer.
Yes.
And again, this is not a teacher that has been teaching you,
So
but
you
you have
don't know
been,
much. Yes,
yeah,
but you have
but
been
he's
seeing him in the-
familiar.
yes.
And so I was comfortable with him because
Yes.
he's familiar.
Yes.
And I came to realize he's the uncle to the girl now.
Yes.
And this is now their place. And that is the man that raped me. He was our teacher. And after that, of course, when it is your first time, you remember the background of this girl, and
Yes.
that's why I have given it.
Yes.
The background of this girl is a girl who was not exposed.
Yes.
And now this is her first time.
Yes.
So for me, I could not have thought that anything could have happened
Now,
Like,
before you go there, when the rape has happened, did you scream?
No, no,
putting
no,
in mind
no.
that you're in a new environment. He took an opportunity maybe when
And
nobody was around.
the
or-
place there is the grandmother. He was the only one who was there.
Okay,
And
okay.
you know, like if the house, there is a main house.
Yes.
And there is a small house.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So where he took me was in that small house. And remember, this is a vulnerable girl. You see. And now, again, you know, in our times, the teachers were very,
Yes.
very superior people. And that's why we have been talking to girls and have been telling them that anybody can rape you.
That's true.
A pastor can rape you.
That's true.
Your teacher can rape you.
That's true.
Anybody, even your father. So you must be very, very careful. And when it
thank you for
happens,
that. Yes.
you have to report it.
Yes.
Because for my case, I kept
you
quiet.
report?
I
Oh
kept
my.
quiet. And that's
Oh
why
my.
I have come out to speak so that we can help people not to be hiding things and not speaking out.
Yes.
Because nobody knew that something has happened to me.
So now, after the rape, you are at Shosho's place. This guy has done whatever he has done. Now you get out of the room, either so feeling dirty. How did you feel?
Of course, I felt sad.
Yes.
I felt uneasy, and I felt unworthy, because now we had this like, I don't know, a challenge that we had brought up with my cousins, and we would say that people say that people cannot get married when they're not virgin. We are keeping it until
We get married.
and now you know
You have lost it.
you have lost it. That's how my trauma began. And it was so traumatic that I could not even speak it. And you know, this is a teacher who have threatened you. Even if he didn't take a knife, you know, those emotional
words,
threats.
yes.
That if you say this, I'll kill you, you know?
And you remember you were in the same school.
We are in the same school, so you can imagine. So I went back to school, actually. And when I went back to school, I thank God for a certain lady. She was my namesake, and she was our secretary in the school.
Yes.
That is the lady that I didn't share with her what happened to me.
Yes.
But she allowed me to be in school. Inside, you know, when people have gotten into a strike,
Yes.
nobody is supposed to be in school. But
Yes.
she allowed me
Yes.
to be in school.
Yes.
And there were also other, like, 2 girls. So 2, 3, I can't remember, girls. So we remained in the school.
Yes.
So I didn't go, like, when others were coming.
Yes.
That is when we used to do an inspection. You remember the
Yes,
time we
yes.
used to do inspections
Yeah.
for pregnancy?
Yes.
Especially when people have gone home.
The
Anytime we
tests
went,
are done on girls.
yes, anytime you go for either a midterm,
Yes, or an
you have-
outing.
or an outing,
One day out, yeah.
you come back,
Yes.
and we were tested for pregnancy.
Yes.
And that time, that was after maybe, it was around, after some time now in school.
Yes.
Remember, this is a girl who have been raped, have never shared with anybody, and is staying in school normally. Because the only thing that we feared that time is pregnancy.
Yes.
And you know it's your first time, so
Yes.
you cannot get pregnant.
Yes.
And again, you know, a first time there is something that you see
Yes.
that can tell you you are okay. So when I waited in school, and after some time, when the time for testing, after 2, it's after 2 weeks
Yes.
when people come back, and that after 2 weeks, that's when the nurse tests us.
Yes.
So when we were tested, it was so amazing. For me, I'm the one who was going the first one. The one who will encouraging the others on the line, because you have not done anything.
Yes.
You are a good girl. You are a CU leader.
Yes.
So you cannot, there is nothing like pregnancy that can come in your mind.
Yeah, because you don't take it from a cup of tea.
Exactly.
And you knew, I know myself.
You know,
so you
that,
used to go
that traumatic thing had made me to live in denial. And so I could not even bring it back to my conscience that there's something that has happened to me.
Okay.
And so what happened is that when I was tested, I was tested positive. I am pregnant.
Oh my God.
Now
I have you
a CU leader. And also, I was like the most disciplined in the school, because you remember the background where I had come from.
Yes.
So the teachers here knew that this girl is very nice, this girl is very behaved.
Yes.
So there was the last person that you can ever think of. Guess what? Now, I was chased from the school.
My God.
Now, the advantage that I got is that when I was chased together with these other girls who had organized the strike.
Okay.
The leaders of the strike.
Yes.
And so nobody
Knew why you have been
why
chased.
I have been chased.
Oh my.
So people thought it's because of I am among the people who
the strike leaders.
And because I've told you it's after some time,
Yes.
is we were the reason we were, the season that we had gotten into strike is this season of mock.
Yes.
So the exam is about.
Yes.
Okay. The Form 4.
Yes.
So we were told that we cannot do the exam outside.
Yes.
We cannot do the exam
Inside the school.
Inside the school.
So you have to organize yourself to do the exam from outside. Yes.
Remember, this is still a vulnerable, naive girl.
Yes.
I don't know how will I go home. Number one, I'm pregnant.
My God.
To face who? My dad or who? It was so hard for me. So what I did, I decided to gang up with these other girls who had, because even them, they were not going home. They organized themselves to stay in Thika, because the school was near Thika.
Yes.
So to go in Thika and organize a room, so they would be coming to do the exam from
the room.
The rooms.
Yes.
These were very naughty girls.
Yes.
They
have learned how to survive.
Yeah, they were naughty girls, so they were used to those rooms. But me, I didn't have money also, you see. I didn't have money to do that. So when I went there, I remember this girl, the girl who had taken me to the grandmother, you remember?
Yes.
That girl is the only one that I had shared with what happened to me. Because you see, this is an uncle who did it.
Yes.
So, but she had promised to keep quiet. But for her, what she did, she told the mother.
Wow.
That I have been chased.
Now, the mother of this girl, this guy who raped you is the sister.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is the sister to the man who raped me.
Yes.
So that sister, the mother to this girl now,
Yes.
is the one who followed up. And followed up. And when she followed up through this other girl,
yes.
Because you see, we were still coming to school. Okay,
yes.
For rehearsals,
yes.
we came.
Yes.
So she asked me, that girl asked me, my mom have said that you go and stay with so and so, a relative.
Of the family now.
Of the family now,
yes.
a relative in
yes.
Thika town
yes.
who had a salon. So that's where I stayed until I did my exam.
Now, Susan,
but today,
nobody at home knows
no.
that Susan is not in school.
Nobody knows that
Susan is doing exam from outside. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows that she's pregnant. And they will not know anytime soon.
Okay.
They will only see the baby.
They will see the baby.
Yes.
Hello.
They will only see the baby. So Okay, later on, this is when I realized that this lady was not doing it for me.
Yes.
Was doing it for the brother, because maybe she thought
you can take an
report.
action. Yes.
Now, when she took me to the cousin, I stayed there. I finished the exam,
Yes.
and then what she did after the exam, she took me now. She came herself, took me from that lady, and took me now to the mother of the man who raped me.
Now to the grandmother.
To where I was raped.
Yes.
The home I was raped in.
Now, Susan, the exam is over.
It's over.
You will not go home.
I won't go home. I'm pregnant. To whose? To Jenga's house? No.
Okay.
It was impossible.
And you are coordinating with everything that was being set for you. You are very vulnerable.
I was very vulnerable because now that is the only safe
Help
thing
that I can get. Okay.
And so when I went there, when the man knew that I was there, he never showed up ever. I will stay there for some time.
Okay. Now, you have been taken in by grandma. Have you gotten married?
No.
What is the setup?
I think he's gotten married to the environment because the boy never, even up to today, he never saw his son.
Okay.
So now when I stayed there with the grandmother, you can imagine this young girl who is traumatized, living somewhere, it's not her home.
Yes.
Pregnant.
Yes.
And now she doesn't have even anything like to buy things for the child.
For the child, yes.
I reached a place.
Didn't you think, I want to ask you this, when all this was happening and you had had, even if you never saw, you never thought of aborting?
That's where I was going the next minute.
Yes.
Now I felt this is too much. I decided, I think I will go to, I know an auntie of mine, my auntie,
yes,
who can be very cooperative,
yes,
about this thing.
How old is the pregnancy now?
That was around, I think 5.
Okay.
5 months.
That's already a baby.
Yeah, it's a baby.
Yeah.
It's a baby because after that, I will stay for some time and give birth anyway. So I stayed there and I thought, let me go to my auntie. I just went. I remember I was given bus fare by a lady. I know maybe she might be watching this.
Yes.
Because she reached me the other day. And she reminded me what she did.
Yes.
And she gave me bus fare, and she was from that family.
Yes.
She gave me bus fare, and I went to my auntie who was staying in Nairobi, and we organized, and I was taken to a hospital.
Your auntie cooperated.
I knew her. She cooperated. She told me this is like this.
If you're that kind of an auntie, we know you. Yes.
Which for me, that was okay.
Yes.
That was a loving, taking, a caring.
According to the way you saw it.
According to me that time, it was a caring auntie.
Yeah.
And she took me to a hospital. She paid for it. And I was laid on that hospital bed. And I was ready. The doctor was ready with the apparatus. I was there, laid there down to abort my child. I thank God because of God's faithfulness, because I have said I got born again when, even if all these things I was going through,
yes,
I was still born again. But you see now, the life is too difficult for me.
Yes.
And so when I was about to be, I just looked at the doctor and I asked him, suppose your mother aborted you, would you be a doctor today? I just woke up, I left the hospital.
Okay.
And that's how my son is living today.
How old is the boy?
20. Turning 21.
She is a mother of 21-year-old boy, and a very good boy for that matter. I know him. Now, you have worked and time has come, you have given. Will you go back home? Will you go home?
No.
Where did you
So
go?
when
After betraying
you
the
see,
auntie.
I've betrayed my auntie. She has paid a lot of money
Yes.
in that hospital.
Yes.
I may not mention the hospital, although it has been aired even on television that
Yes.
it was doing those things.
Yes.
And so my aunt was so furious, and of course I could not have gone back to her.
Yes.
And I went back to where I had come from,
Grandmother's
the
place.
grandmother's place.
Awesome.
And I stayed there, and that's where until I gave birth. Listen, this person is giving birth. You see, this grandmother is not even sure if it's the son's baby.
Yes.
So she's not taking care. She is not buying clothes. She cannot buy anything. So you are there like a burden. Do you know, I remember this lady. This is the only lady that I say when I am interviewed, I have to say her by name.
Yes.
Because I have to congratulate Mama Ernest. Because Mama Ernest is the one who bought, it was a relative in that family.
Yes.
She bought clothes for me. She took care of the hospital bills. She paid everything that was needed. And she gave me the clothes for this girl. You see, this is a teenager.
Yes.
And that's how I got the towels, the whatever for the baby. Then I went back there, same place. So you see, this is a place that you are like, nobody knows who you are. The man is not seen. You see?
Yes, even people cannot even believe.
It's like a puzzle.
Yeah.
Nobody is understanding what we say in our language, Madhogodhanios.
Yeah.
You see? Because nobody is understanding. You are staying here as who?
Yes.
Whose wife?
Yes.
Whose girlfriend?
Yes.
Because the man never appeared. You remember, I told you this was a teaching practice, so he was in college.
So he had to go back to
the
school.
where I think he decided he could hear.
Yes.
Maybe the ladies at their home.
Yes.
So he never appeared. So I stayed there for some few months after giving birth, and I felt, no. I remember I sat down and I said, even if my father was a lion, I will go and he will eat me up.
Yes.
And I
Come and buy.
Come and buy.
Okay.
It's just to fast forward. I decided to go home. And I carried the baby. Remember, this girl came here with a box.
Yes.
You remember the high school?
Yeah, the high school.
So,
the box of clearing school
yeah.
is what you put the things of the baby.
The things of the baby.
Hey.
Instead of going home with a certificate, you are going home
with a baby.
With a baby. And you can imagine the trauma even of the parents. My dad was not working in the country that time. So what happened, it's my mom that I got.
Yes.
So when I went home, my mom, of course, was happy. They have been looking for...
Let me ask you this question. Now that you have gone back home, were you ulizidikishwa so that maybe it can be like umesaidia mama anakuja kutembea kwenu mtoto?
Yeah, that's the thinking of my mom.
Because ulizidikishwa.
Nobody took me home. I am here with a baby. With a baby. And a baby. But along the way, I will meet with the people. I'm trying to fast forward because of time.
Yes.
I will meet with some people that will help me along the journey.
Yes.
But the time I went home, that's when I got my mom now with the baby. And she was so scared to see me. You see, she would have expected me with the uniform and, you know,
that the school has
and you know, they have been one day. Okay, but you see, for me not going home, even when I was closing school, mostly I never used to go home. I used to go to my auntie's place.
Yes.
Another auntie, apart from the auntie I had mentioned, because her house, where she was staying in Nairobi was near a library. So I used to go to her place.
The revisions
but that way we could communicate home, I'm here. And so for them, not finding me, it was scaring them, and they had started looking for me. But now I have come, and I have come with a baby. And of course, my mom could not even expect, you know, they knew me from how I was growing up.
Yes.
They couldn't expect me to come with a baby.
Yes.
And she waited for the person we have come with.
Yeah, when you umebebea mtoto.
Mtoto.
Yes.
But it was so surprising that there was
Nobody's
nobody.
coming.
It was my baby. Of course, for the love of a mother, I have such a nice mother.
Yes.
She accepted me and I stayed home, and whatever I was fearing now, I thought, hii ndio nilikuwa naogopa, ningekuja tu. And so, remaining there, my traumatic issues began again.
Yes.
Because when my dad came back, actually he did not bother. He did not even want to hear about this baby that I've come with.
Yes.
And actually, I remember my firstborn sister. You see, my son is very dark. Eh?
Yes.
I'll ever believe. I don't even, maybe, Susan is very compassionate.
Yes.
It's very compassionate. Maybe this is our child she got somewhere and behaved like it's hers. Because nobody, I know you know my sisters,
yes.
Nobody knew, ever saw me pregnant.
So wanashindwa ilikujaje na ulitoa wapi?
At least we could have heard of pregnancy, but now this is a baby. It was so traumatizing even for my family.
Yes.
Now I'm there, my dad has come. I've told you he was not working in the country. So when he came back, he came and found a baby, and I know he was very bitter, but he kept quiet. So he did not say anything. But I am the one who provoked him even to chase me away from home. Because what happened is that this girl is traumatized. Today I know about trauma because I'm a counselor by profession.
Yes.
But before then, we could not understand what was happening to me. And so I could wake up at night, take the baby. You know, when you are touched with something because of that trauma and something that triggers you, it will take you back there and you react.
Yes.
So that's what I was doing. So when
the
they had
that you never did there,
and also even the physical now,
yes.
When the hand of the baby touches me like this, I will take this baby and throw him under the bed. You know, I feel like something and throw. Nobody could understand. So my parents thought I wanted to kill the baby. So my dad was so furious with me and thought that I want to kill the baby, and that's how he got provoked to chase me. And he chased me away from home.
Let me ask this question, because from where we come from, the babies we get, we name them our parents. Now remember, these are rape babies, so you could not have named the Shosho's place. The baby carried the name of Guka, now who is your father. Was there any attachment between Guka and this baby that may be provoked? Like now your father has come to love this baby from blues, and now your father is feeling so bad when this baby is getting mistreated. Was there anything like that?
Perhaps not. But it's the fact that I wanted to harm the baby.
Yes.
You get?
Yes.
Because you see, the baby is innocent, and because my dad thought maybe I want to harm the baby, now I remain a girl again, you know, I kill the baby, something like that maybe. And so my dad chased me away from home. And remember now, it's my tender time, you know, the child is still an infant.
Yes.
The child is breastfeeding. So I have been chased home, a breastfeeding mother, and I don't know where to go again. Okay. Now I'm left, where do I go? I can't go with the
Your mom never intervened or anything?
She couldn't. It was a very bad thing anyway. Okay. It was a very bad incident.
Yes.
Actually, it was, it's only that now that we have reconciled with my dad, I cannot go to the details.
Yes.
And so I was chased. And when I was chased, I just decided I have many aunties. So I went to another auntie now for help. Besides the two.
Yes.
So I went to another auntie. That was very nice. And she told me, don't worry, I know a place you can go. Because you see, I could not go to my grandmother. My parents have gotten married just near each other. Actually, they share the same electricity posts. Yes. So you cannot go to either of my grandmother or father. So what happened? God is so faithful. She she said, now I know the best place that you can go is to go look for, I'll take you to Riro, because my place where it's near is Riro. I'll take you to Riro and you go to a bureau. Then when you go to a bureau for where they get girls, house girls, you go there and become a house girl. There you will eat, you will have a shelter.
And the baby?
I cannot, you know, my dad said, you cannot, it is me who was chased, not the baby.
So you left the baby?
I want to kill the baby.
So you left the baby with the
with my social, with my parents now.
Yes.
So I went to the father. I think I have favor with God.
Yes.
The day I went there, I did not even sleep because they sleep there, those who are not taken. I didn't sleep there.
Yes.
The same day I arrived like this.
Yes.
Somebody came and I was sold. You know the way they are.
Yes.
To
you became a house
girl. And I was taken to the house girl. So when I went to the house girl, I stayed there. Remember, I was breastfeeding.
Yes.
So the pain.
Yes.
The accumulating milk. I'm having that fever now. I'm like sick. I cannot even be able to take a tray and take it to my boss now.
Yes.
I cannot even be able to clean, to wash clothes. Because so I'm struggling.
Yes.
But anyhow, for like 2 days I tried, and I think this lady, she could look at this girl and find and see something is wrong.
Yes.
This girl, either she's sick or something.
You were taken in by a family or a single mother?
A single mother.
Okay.
She was a lawyer.
Yes.
And when she took me, one day, I think she asked for a friend to come and maybe monitor me.
Yes.
So when they came and I was asked to take tea, I could, you know, the days are going.
Yes.
So it is becoming more worse.
Big.
So I could not be able to place that tray.
Yeah.
They looked at me and they said no. They interviewed me now. I tell them what is happening, and I told them, and they saw that I cannot work, so they agreed I will be taken back to the bureau. That's how they work. Okay. I was taken, and you know, the money that she had paid
it's supposed to be cut from your salary.
from me. So because I have not paid, when they left me there, you see, there I cannot be paid 2 days, 3 days there. So I was taken back. When I'm seated there, the lady tells me, now you'll have to go to another place because you see they are in business, of course. Yes. So I stayed there and I was taken to another place. Thank God, the place that I was taken, remember this is a sick girl.
Yes.
Sick in the mind, mentally sick.
Yes.
Sick in the body.
Yes.
And now here she is, being taken now to another home.
Yes.
And you know, the work of a house girl is not easy.
Yes.
But thank God where I was taken now, it was a better place for me. This mama was living alone because the children were big, they were in the university, and they live in the university, in the hostels.
So there is not too much work?
There is not too much. Actually, she was one of the leaders of the government leaders. So it was a big home. Yes. You are using machines to clean clothes. There were only two now, the husband and the wife now. And so my only work was to air the house, open the windows. You see, there was no much work. So that was okay for me. So I decided this is where I'm going to work now. And I stayed there. Do you think I will stay for long? The university.
They have come.
They have come. They have, I think they were either strike or they closed, I can't remember. I think it's a high school. Yes. Kenya University. So there was a young man who came from the university, the son of that family.
Yes.
I've been telling people that anytime that you are abused, it is important for you to deal with that abuse, with that situation, so that you can heal, because it opens the door. You can be raped again.
You become vulnerable to the
same ordeal. again and again.
My
So
God.
it is important for everybody to share that issue and be able to be helped. Because I believe now,
Yes.
because
Yes.
I'm a psychologist,
Yes.
I believe now that if I was helped, these things could not be piling.
Yes.
Again, the same thing again.
Yes.
Now here, this young man wanted to rape me again.
My God.
But thank God he did not manage.
Okay.
He did not manage. And of course, I could not have been stayed there seeing that this guy is planning to rape me.
So you had to leave again.
I had to leave again. And this is how now, remember, again, I am not having contact with my family members.
Yes.
This is the time now I will get into contact with my family. Because you see, this is a place, they used to live in a home inside a coffee plantation.
Yes.
So it's not somewhere I can know the way.
The way out,
I don't
yes.
have money.
Yes.
So I asked that first of all, I asked the soldier to give me the guard to give me the phone to call the mother to the boy now.
Yes.
I called the mother and the mother came. She was a very nice woman. I normally...
That's what I wanted to ask you. Did the mother react like,
No.
unawekelea kijana yangu, ama you are the bad one out, you sold yourself out or something?
No.
Yeah.
I think maybe she was aware of the character of the man, because
Yes.
she was cooperative anyway. And so she gave me the phone, and I called my sister, because I could not be able to come from that place to go to my sister's
Yes.
place. Now this is how I landed, now you even also came to me. That
Yes.
is how I landed to my sister's place
Yes.
in Kangemi.
Yes.
And so when my sister, I came to Kangemi now,
Yes.
and my sister stayed with me. Of course, I stayed with me. She's the one who organized for me to a doctor there in Kangemi, and I was taken and I was treated. I was treated because of my
Yes.
milk and
Because it's
everything.
like now it
the
had
fever I had,
mastitis or something,
yeah.
yes.
So I was treated and I was fine, and I stayed with my sister, and that's how now I managed even to get back my son through my sister. Actually,
Wow.
my parents could never ever allow me to meet with my son because of what they had already seen me do.
Yes.
And so, and again, you see, we are not in good terms with my dad.
Yes.
So we organized with my sister. My sister went and stayed at home because, I'm trying to rush because of time.
Yes.
But because now I have come to Kangemi, I've started living with my sister, and because that godliness is still in me,
Yes.
I have seen a church that is nearby.
Yes.
And I have become so active until the bishop there decided, you are the one to be cooking tea in this church.
In this church.
And I started cooking.
You became an office assistant.
Yeah.
Yes.
I became an office assistant in the church. I went growing in the church. I was even preaching in the church, lunch hours, and I became the youth leader in the church.
Yes.
And now the bishop was excited with me. And he told me that because now you are full-time, we will be paying half, because that's what he was doing with the other ministers.
Yes.
I will be paying school fees half for because I had given him the story of my son.
Yes.
So he said, you will go for that, your son. I'll be the ministry will be paying for you.
Yes.
Will be paying for you the school fees. So that's how my son now landed
In Kangemi.
Okay. Came back to me.
Yes.
Through my sister.
Yes.
So my parents knew that my son has gone to stay with
your sister.
with my sister. So that's how we reconnected first.
Yes.
With my son.
Yes.
And so I stayed with my sister. I went and my life continued.
Now we come to the marriage.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now I went to the university, and when I went to
A house girl.
I house girl.
God lifting you.
Yes.
From being a house girl.
Now I am going to the university.
And having done the Form 4, being a mother, now God is opening a door.
Amen.
You have gone to the university.
Oh, yes. Now, when I went to the university, I may not give the many details.
Yes.
I joined the university. When I joined the university, now remember, I was, before that, I was living with my son.
Yes.
And I have now to take my son back home so that I can be able to go
to school. Yes.
To the university. So it's my sisters here who will take my son back home.
Because yeye ndiye amekuwa akikaa na mtoto. Yes.
And I go to the university. So I went to the university, and meanwhile, even my going to the university was a miracle.
Yes.
But today we'll be talking. That will be a story for another day.
Yes.
And because I will meet with another bishop who will be able to take care of me and then reconcile me with my parents. We went with the bishop at home and we reconciled, and we are very close with my dad today. And so when I went to the university, in my second year, I met, we were organizing because we were born again, and we never used to say, we never used to let the people of the world think that in salvation there is no happiness.
Yes.
So we organized a group.
Yani wokovu si ujinga.
Sikuboeka. So we decided we'll come up with a group of different churches and different and different universities where we'll be going out. Like we organize ourselves. We go to maybe to Nakuru. We go to Mombasa. We go outings.
Yes, yes.
And that's what we did. And so when we were organizing one meeting, I remember we were organizing it somewhere in Kikuyu, and in a certain church in Kikuyu, and I was asked to pray. This prayerful girl prayed.
Yes, yes.
And I think a young man thought, hey, maombi taombewa kwangu.
I'll have to bring her to my kingdom.
Yes. Then after that meeting, I went back to school because I was staying in the hostels, and he followed up with my friend, and he got my number, and
he was still born again.
He was a born again brother.
We bless the Lord.
Yes, he was a born again brother, and so we met with him, and we went. We started dating. Remember, I'm still in school.
Yes,
we are dating, and. We reached a place and we felt that we need to get married. But it was very fast.
Yes.
And it was, remember I said I was still born again?
Yes.
And I was still prayerful?
Yes.
And I was still praying?
Yes.
And our God is faithful. The Bible says that our God is faithful even when we are not faithful.
That is true.
Because I cannot say that whatever will happen to my marriage or whatever happened to my marriage, it is because God was not there. God had spoken to me even prior to me entering into that marriage. And the reason I want to bring this out is to just help a person there.
Yes.
Who may be a young lady there, you are trusting God to get into marriage. It is important for you to pray and confirm that this person that you're getting married, it's God
sent.
Yes. And when God tells you he's not, obey.
Don't push.
Obey. Because what I am about to share, what you'll hear that happened to my marriage, you'll hear it not because God had God had given me enough red flags.
My God.
But I disobeyed. I remember when I was praying for the time we were planning for my marriage.
Yes.
God could speak to me, and God speaks to me so much in dreams.
Yes.
And God could show me a dream of myself in my wedding.
Yes.
In a black gown.
Seriously?
And I'm like,
yeah, that's an information. God speaks in dreams.
Yes. And I could not even ask God, what do you mean in this? Because I don't want to be told. I know what it means.
Yes.
But I don't want to.
You don't want to hear the truth.
Hear the truth.
Yes.
I don't want God to cancel this wedding. So I shelved that one. Then God continued speaking to me. And he spoke to me again, and he told, I remember this time I saw another dream.
Yes.
I saw myself in my wedding, and I'm about now to walk down the aisle. I don't have shoes. And
Losing a mate.
Then everybody is looking for the bride's shoes.
Oh my.
And they say, they are in someone's car. When they go to check, imagine that a
Yes.
coordinated dream.
Yes.
When they go to check in my cousin's car, she has left with the shoes.
With the shoes.
Hey, that's another one. And there were many.
These ones were information. I want to let somebody know
marriage
that God speaks through dreams. Even before the fall of Job, he had a dream, but Job could not interpret the dream. And that is how his fall started. So God speaks in dreams.
Yes, he does.
Now that time, you kind of know, but you don't want to accept.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So I can say I had enough. That we can call it the spiritual way.
The confirmations, yes.
Now in the physical.
Yes.
God still continued speaking to me. I remember I felt sick sometime before my wedding.
Before you do the wedding, yes.
Yes. And I was admitted in the hospital. And when I was admitted in the hospital, I was having, I had too much. I was in college, I was doing my practicum, and I was doing my practicum at Committee Prison. So you can imagine I was listening to these people.
Yes.
I'm counseling them. All these things are in my mind. And again, I'm also having the workload.
Yes.
I have to write reports to my lecturer.
Yes.
And again, I'm planning for the wedding.
Yes.
So
you
all
became so
this
piled up
until I could not take it. So it's like I had stress, but I didn't know it was stress.
Yes.
And so I started having a severe headache. I went to the hospital. I could even faint, and I was taken to a big hospital here in Nairobi.
Yes.
And when I was admitted, they were checking what is happening. I was taken to MRI. They could not find anything.
Yes.
So they decided to take the spinal cord fluid.
Yes, yes.
So that they can check if I have meningitis.
Yes.
During that time,
Because the headache was throbbing.
Yeah.
It was bad
Yeah,
headache.
it was that was making me faint. So, do you know when they were checking that, I think the nurse they gave me was not competent. So she interfered with my leg. So when she interfered with my leg, it like paralyzed.
Yes.
I had to stay more
In the hospital.
in the hospital.
And your wedding is around the corner.
It's almost. Now, that was another red flag. And again, this is how God wanted to know me to know about the man.
Yes.
Because he has tried to speak to me, I am not hearing.
Yes.
And so, because I have my leg, I cannot now leave the hospital the time I'm supposed to leave.
Yes.
Because another problem has come in.
Yes.
And my insurance learned that this was the issue of I think the way they come to monitor,
Yes.
they had
It's
that
not a negligence.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they decided to back off. They only paid up to the time
For the treatment of the head.
up
Yes.
to, yeah,
Yes.
of where when they realized that actually they backed, they paid some money, they refused to pay, and it was a big hospital, so the bill was so high. And now my sister started raising the money, and my family started raising the money to pay the hospital. So my sister, the guy now, you remember he's my fiancé.
Yes.
He said that I am going to pay for her. And my sister,
was he working?
Yes, he was.
Yes, yes.
My sisters were very, very excited. And they decided, we are having now a brother-in-law. They went to the bank. And when they went, it's my sister and my brother-in-law
Yes.
who went to the bank to
Yes.
get the money.
Yes.
And when they went to get the money, he said that the card has been swallowed.
Okay.
Now, Let us laugh. Now I can laugh about it because I'm out of it, and that's why we are talking this. The links is there to help women to heal, so that they can speak their story when they are laughing. And so when he said that, my sister said, "Okay, now what?" He's the one who told my brother-in-law that you pay that money, I will refund.
How big was the bill? Could the family have managed through the fundraising?
No, it was. They were not doing a fundraising. It's just let us give.
Could they have managed without him coming and saying that he's going to pay?
You see, it was not very big. It's somebody that they could have managed. So he said, because he took my sister's husband, my brother-in-law paid.
Yes.
Now when he paid, he was expecting the money, but even up to today, he has not been paid.
Okay, we bless the Lord.
and now they told me this after.
Yes.
Not even after. Before, my sister could tell me, I think you need to give yourself time.
To get to know this man.
Know this man. But who can hear that? I didn't hear that. And so my sisters, because of their love, they still got involved in planning for the wedding.
Now, let me cut you short. Have you introduced your son now to this man?
Yes.
Has this man accepted your son?
Yes. That's
Everything
why
is okay.
Everything is okay. That's how we are planning now.
Yes.
Now we continued. We are planning the wedding. Now I have come out of the hospital.
Yes.
And the wedding is near. Actually, during my wedding, I didn't even wear high shoes. Even up to today, I cannot be able to wear high shoes because of my leg.
Yes.
But that one could not tell me God is speaking something.
Yes.
But I remember as we continued, some few days before wedding, there was a dinner. He was working with an NGO.
Yes.
And because he was working with an NGO, what happened is this. They had a dinner that was near a hotel that was near our university.
Yes.
And so he called us for that dinner. You see the way the university girls, hey, we are going to this big hotel for a cocktail.
Yes.
And we went. You remember, we are born again ourselves.
Yes.
He is supposed to be born again.
Yeah.
And we went there. Then my friend, who is also a very close friend of mine, is my supervisor.
Yes.
Now that girl looked at this man and told me, I know you love him. I know the wedding is a few days. Actually, that time, I was even not staying in the hostel. I was staying with this lady because she was the one who was doing me counseling. Yes. Premarital counseling. Yes. So she told me, the way I'm seeing this girl, this man, he's excited, so much excited today. Yes. Is he drunk? Okay? Yes. I said, no.
He's born again.
He's born again. He cannot drink. I think he's excited that we have come, or because of, you see, he was working with the whites. So he told me, you know, for her, she's not in denial. Yes. She can see it in reality. That man was drunk. But I think even if I could have seen, I could not have
more picked it.
Yes. Allowed it.
You are very selective.
Yes. I'm like, no. And again, I'm prayerful. This man, even if he can drink, I can pray it out. Yes. And I know he will change.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you, my viewers, you can never ever change anyone. Prayer, there is something prayer does. But the change of somebody
comes from him themselves.
Yes. And so I could not have changed him. I continued with the wedding. I remember even 3 days, we continued planning with the wedding, and 3 days before the wedding, I decided to cancel it. I remember my sisters were there, my family, now everything was set. They were planning for the last meeting towards the wedding. Yes. Now, they are there. I said, I think now the Holy Spirit was telling me, stop it. Yes. I stopped it. I said, I'm not going to do the wedding 3 days before. who could have taken it?
Nobody.
Everybody was against me. I remember even my sister, another sister of mine who was staying far. She called and told me that nonsense.
Are you thinking?
You know, even our aunties who stays wherever have come, you know, everybody, you cannot do this again. You remember the work you have been having with our father. You cannot take him back.
Embarrass him again.
Yeah, you
Yes.
don't, you want a curse. Then everybody was against me. I was a pastor all this time, by the way. And so you can imagine the pastors who had come for that meeting.
Yes.
They were feeling, hey, we have planned this thing.
Yes.
Let this thing work.
Yes.
But I was not there. I felt that I should stop it. But what happened, we were told both of us to talk, me and my fiancé.
Yes.
Now, these two people, how can you tell two people to talk?
Yes.
Oh my, we agreed
To do the wedding.
to do the wedding. And the main reason, okay, I did not have the main reason of cancelling it.
Yes.
But I
But you were
remember
just feeling something.
a day, that night, that day before that meeting, we had already shopped for everything, remember?
Yes.
Because the wedding is almost.
Yes.
He had lost his shoe. And when we were in town, he said that let us, with me and the chairman of the committee,
yes.
they said we check so we were checking where they had stopped, and I saw ourselves going up the stairs to a pub. And I'm like,
They left the shoe in the pub.
why are we checking when you had passed?
The pub.
And I'm like, what? Then that's why, those are some of the things
That you were seeing.
that
They
I
were
was,
the red flags.
yeah,
for
the
that
red
moment.
flags were too much. But anyway, I decided, let us do it.
You got married.
I did a
It was
wedding.
a very nice wedding.
Yes.
It's a very nice wedding. I
Yes.
love you, girl.
Yes.
It was very nice.
Yes, I did it. And then when I did the wedding, and the same day of the wedding, that is when my issues started. We are there after the wedding. First of all, you know when God is not in something, there
Yes.
is no favor.
Yes.
I remember the person we had called for the videography
Yeah.
was a pastor friend of mine. You remember I was a pastor.
Yes.
I was in a Christian university.
Yes, yes.
And this is a person that we had been arranging. We were with him even that night on Friday,
Yes.
before Saturday.
Yes.
And he confirms he is coming for the wedding. And we have assigned the car that will wait him at Roysambo, where he will be picked, and the person who will pick him to where I was being at home,
Yeah.
to be shown at home, to come and take the video. The guy stayed there, and she was carrying some of the maids. Yeah?
The
guy who was
videographer never came.
never turned up.
So, who is going to have the video?
Hey, now it is the morning
Oh
of
my
the
God.
of the wedding, and we are like, what now? You can imagine the bride now.
Yes.
What she's feeling. I'm looking at now. That is one thing. The second thing is this. During that wedding, it was I did my wedding in 2009.
Yes.
And that time, the highway was not, the superhighway was not complete.
Yes.
So there was a lot of jam along the superhighway.
Yes.
Now we call it superhighway,
Yes.
the Thika Road. But where they were coming from, because where they were coming from, the direction they were coming from, they could have used another route apart from the route towards past Githurai. Okay?
Yes.
But I don't know how the confusion came.
They got themselves in the mix of the jam.
And the other people, there are other people who had come from their home,
Yes.
who are coming to pick me,
Yes.
and had arrived. But the key people, the parents, the key people that were to pick me, hey, my God, they were in the jam. I waited. Do you know, I removed the gown. And I said, I am not going to do this wedding. And my cousins were there. Oh, unaharibu makeups. I was crying. Thank God there were no video.
Thank God could not have allowed a video to be there.
But okay, there is one that came up.
Yes.
My cousin had a video, so there is still one that is out there. And people used their cameras also.
Yes.
But thank God it was not there, because I cried that day. And even my cousins were telling me, my cousin was my makeup person. Eh? She was a beautician. So she was telling me, Aki, Kuzo, please, unaharibu makeups. But what could I have done? I could not hold it. And I said, now, what am I doing? If they didn't, why could they wake up early? Then they could tell me. They could go out of the place and video, not video, audio record the guy, so that I can know he is out there.
And he's still waiting.
He's still waiting. And I could not hear that, nani yako tu hapa, unafanya wedding, wacha kushtuka. But who am I? I was crying. I had spoiled my gown and all that. And when the parents arrived, I was taken and we went, and it was very late, so we had to rush things. And so we went, we did the wedding. And after the wedding now, the wedding was very beautiful, very big and good, and everybody enjoyed. In the evening, after everything is done,
yes.
Now the gifts are being taken to home where we'll be living, and now the bride is supposed to go and change. Huh? My best maid, the lady I was telling you, my best maid is there wondering, asking the guy, where are we going? Because the reason he was being asked is because, remember, I know you know my brother-in-law works in a hotel.
Yes.
And my brother-in-law had offered to look for us a place to stay. But you see, he was saying, no, you will tell her. It's supposed to be a surprise, because you see the brother-in-law is of my side.
Yes.
So he said, I will take care of that. So they knew
we were going somewhere.
It is taken care of. So we are there. The bride is there with the gown, very heavy, wanted to change. And they want to rush me there so that we can go wherever we are going next. He is asked, say, goja kidogo. It continued like that until now. They saw hapa. Actually, my sister, she's sharp. Yeah. She's the one who said, hi, kama mnajipanga.
Jipangeni mapema.
Jipangeni mapema. So it is my best mate who looked for a place, and we finally landed there. There was no place. And I'm like, not that he didn't have money.
Yes.
Not that why? Not, I don't know if it's a plan that he had that backfired, but yes. I think he thought we will finish the wedding, fly out to wherever we are going for honeymoon, but that could not have happened. So we did the wedding, we went for the honeymoon, we came back. But now when we came back, I realized it's a mommy's boy. Okay. That I'm not even supposed to open the gifts. We are supposed to be eating from
mommy's place.
And again, also I was in the school. I had not also graduated. Yes. So I was coming there. He was sometimes dropping me school. Then he wait for me when I'm coming back, and I come back. Now we continued like that, but it was a painful journey. Yes. Now the pain begins. I'm here in the marriage. And a faithful wife. Our marriage was very beautiful from the outside. Yes. To an extent that even in that short marriage I got married, I became a best couple to two marriages. Oh my. Because people could see we are the best. Yes. Where I worked, people saw our marriage works. Because he was those guys that are used to flowers, pizzas, chocolate. Yeah, those things. Hallelujah. They could land in the office. So they knew Pastor Susan's has a husband. This is a husband who could pick me. Okay? If he's not picking me from the office, he's picking me in town every day. So you can imagine. Little did they know that when some of those flowers that were coming, they were coming to say sorry because this man started going out with other women, not one.
Did he leave his salvation walk? Ama he was still doing that, being in the salvation walk?
He never left.
He was still born again?
But he never was.
No, according to us, he was still born again.
I'm saying?
Yes.
He never
left. But he never was?
I think so.
Yes.
Because I don't see a born again person who could have done all the things that he did. Because number one thing, this man, I have never found a loving man like he was. I never knew a shop myself. He could buy for me clothes.
Where
he could
did
buy
his
for me
come in?
everything.
Yes.
And I didn't know this was like a cover-up. There are things that he's doing, and he won't even picking and dropping. It's a way of monitoring.
To make sure that uko hapo sasa ndio niende nikafanye kenye nataka kufanya. Yes.
I will finish up and pick you.
Yes.
I will do this and this. And I remember, just to give some few incidences that happened. I remember one time, I'll begin it where it began. I think he was doing it again and again, but I didn't know. Until this one particular day, when I was sleeping, I've told you, if there's, everybody, there's a way God speaks to them.
Yes.
And my way of speaking, God speaking to me even up to today, is through dreams.
Yes.
Even when God wants to warn me about something or to say something, he speaks to me through dreams. I remember I dreamt. And I know this might scare our viewers because they will see, Haya, you dreamt this and it came to reality. Yes, it did. I dreamt myself being kidnapped. And I was kidnapped not by one person.
Yes.
And not a man.
Yes.
I was kidnapped by several ladies.
Yes.
And these ladies were so many. And each one of them had a task. You know, the way we see in movies, this one moving
yes.
like
yes.
this.
Yes.
So they had planned their kidnapping very, very swiftly. So I was kidnapped and I saw myself in a forest. And they were tying me in a big tree. One was carrying a rope, one was tying me. Another one, when they were walking towards where they will tie me, she said, "Oh no, we have forgotten a knife." And she turned. I know we have acted with, I know we have acted. And when we act, you remember we used to put names of people behind the, behind the person and name tags.
Yes.
So when the lady who turned. She turned and I saw the name. I still remember the name the way I saw it. The name of a lady. And I will still afterwards, you'll hear, I will meet that lady. I saw the name at the back of this lady.
Yes.
Then after that, another one, I saw her, the way she was dressed, I saw the clothing. The other one, I saw the way she had cut her bob hair.
Now it's like you're being given the reality, you're being told who
it is in a
this.
dream, yes.
Yes.
So I dreamt that and they were kidnapping me. But now when she went to get the knife, that is when I woke up.
Wow. Now we have had the dream. The dream has just come to you when you don't have any information. And to you, my viewers, I would like you to think about it. What were the names in the dream? Did the dream become a reality? What was being included, or what message was our Pastor Susan being told in the dream? I hope you're going to stay, watch, and listen to what happened to the dream and the names that were in the dream, whether they are going to become a reality. I'm hoping to see you next Saturday from 8 to 9 in the evening. It's getting sweeter and better. Let us sit as we hear the conclusive of what happened after the dream. God bless you.
She's a woman, life giver, a mother with dreams.